We understand why the Russians are striking power plants right now. Freezing Ukraine has always been Putin's dream, and this dates back to the times when the gas was cut off. Discussions immediately flared up on social media. Have we learned to protect our energy facilities, at least in the 4th year of the war? Although experts say there is no protection against a direct hit from ballistic missiles. That's why it's worth remembering your own power banks, home batteries, and generators. Our support for the front is to hold on here in the rear, my neighbors say. This winter clearly won't be easy. And as for Volodymyr Zelensky, in addition to urging the United States, Europe, and the G7 to take action rather than just talk, this is how he responded to journalists when asked whether blackouts should be expected in Moscow. Our task after the strikes is to respond to the enemy. Our task, first and foremost, is to protect ourselves. And now, how, and most importantly, with what we did this during the week, TSN.Tyzhnia correspondent Oksana Radionova will tell you.
A new level of Ukrainian deep strikes is being carried out by our long-range drones. It wasn't the drones that were reinforced. The Flamingos took flight and Ruta began operating in tandem with Neptune. And this week, President Zelensky officially did so for the first time. He confirmed it.
In recent days, Ukraine has been using exclusively Ukrainian-made products, not just drones.
And one more important detail. Our defenders have stated that now, for every blackout in Ukraine, Russia will pay with its own. The Russian city of Belgorod has felt the change in the situation. At first, the now familiar drones attacked. Then the local thermal power plant stopped working. Darkness covered half the city. That's some real darkness. People there are burning candles, only the cars are lit up. The very next day, a swarm of drones visited the exact same power plant again. 1, 2, 3. The tactic is really effective, says the expert.
A swarm of decoy drones flies in, then our long-range drones overloading the Russian air defense, and then our jet-powered drones and our missiles are added in targeted strikes.
Why did we launch the boomerang of justice against the enemy's energy sector? And with what domestic weapons are we now striking military targets in the enemy's rear? These are the two most interesting questions about the latest deep strikes. The answer to the first has two components.
This is definitely an impact on the economy, and it's important to understand that they are less protected than Ukraine.
The second argument was voiced by the president.
They are killing us, so they cannot be comfortable. And when they are no longer comfortable, they will start asking questions of their leadership.
Russian chats have started to wail. They say that flamingos arrived and showed quite large fragments.
From the fragments that are on social media, you can see where drones were used and where something other than drones was used. And I would like to thank not only the soldiers for this, but also the manufacturers.
Which specific developments is the president thanking for? Let's figure it out. Here is the only video so far of the launch of what the manufacturer of the unmanned aviation system called our longest-reaching missile, the Flamingo. It is capable of striking targets at a distance of 3,000 kilometers.
The much-talked-about Flamingo missile, Denmark will be producing solid fuel for it, was developed rather quickly, and there were a lot of jokes about its appearance because its jet engine is mounted externally on the body and it has wings. But it actually has quite significant tactical and technical characteristics. A ton of explosives and a speed of up to 1,000 kilometers per hour. And it's relatively easy to launch from a ground-based platform. So this gives us great capabilities.
For the first time, Ukrainian authorities announced the successful use of the Flamingo this week. Last week, I won't say how many, but it's likely referring to the strike on August 29th on the Akademia plant in Kyiv, Electrodetal in the Bryansk region. We have several modifications of the Neptune missile. The standard one, the long-range version. And this week, our European partners were shown this third variant. It has already been nicknamed the Fat Neptune because of these rounded compartments on the fuselage. It is likely that it was the Neptune that was used against the thermal power plant this week.
The long-range Neptune with an enlarged warhead. Now we can say that the operational range of Neptune is between 700 and 1,000 kilometers. Its weight is approximately 1,200 to 1,300 kilograms, and the warhead mass ranges from 325 to 450 kilograms.
The exact number as of now, as well as further modifications of this missile, are still unknown. The naval forces who use it have reported this. In 2024, with the participation of Neptune, there were 50 successful operations. If you take into account that this missile is never launched alone, you can roughly estimate the production capacity. This week, the Allies were also presented with the Peklo drone missile. Its speed is 700 kilometers per hour, and its range is also 700 kilometers. Another drone missile, Ruta, also attacked an offshore platform for the first time at a distance of over 250 kilometers, as confirmed by the president this week. People started talking about this missile last year. Its range is 300 kilometers. It is known that it is produced jointly with the Spanish. And for the first time, the authorities reported dozens of successful strikes on military depots with the Faljanicja missile. As stated at the arms exhibition in Poland in September, it is capable of carrying a 100-kilogram warhead at a speed of 900 kilometers per hour and hitting targets at a distance of 650 kilometers. It is possible that our defenders have already conducted frontline use of the foreign-made Sapsan system.
Our ballistic missile has been launched into serial production. This marks the completion of the testing program for the Khrym-2 tactical missile system, which we also call Sapsan. Its counterpart is the Russian Iskander. This is a mobile ground-based launch system, and we can't move it too close to the border. Such launches are mostly carried out at night. And accordingly, after firing off the ammunition, it's necessary to retreat quickly.
We continue to destroy the oil and gas industry after upgrading our long-range drones. Already on the remote Asian territory of Russia, in particular, the Lyuty drone now has a warhead not of 40 but of 70 plus kilograms. Moreover, the manufacturers are increasing the size of the fuel tanks. Here are a few significant hits from this week. For the birthday of the Russian dictator, our forces set a new range record. They attacked an oil refinery in Tyumen at a distance of over 2,000 kilometers. This Saturday, they attacked the largest oil refinery in Bashkortostan, in Ufa. It has a capacity of 700 million tons of oil per year. It is 1,400 kilometers from our border. Such a distance did not prevent a precise strike at the heart of the plant, the crude oil processing unit. This week, our forces struck an ammunition depot of the 18th Army in occupied Crimea, as well as the largest maritime oil terminal on the peninsula, in Feodosia. Dozens of giant tanks burned for several days. This week, we also managed to reach a gas processing facility.
A strike on a gas processing plant is something new. That hasn't happened before.
We're talking about the largest gas processing plant in southern Russia, the Korobkovsky plant in Kotovo, Volgograd region. Our strikes on Russia's strategic industry are becoming increasingly painful. Almost 400 gas stations have already closed. There's nothing left to sell. Imports from Belarus have already quadrupled, and the fact that Putin met with President Aliyev for the first time in a long while this week and admitted that it was Russian missiles that shot down the Azerbaijani plane is definitely not a coincidence.
It seems like
Vladimir is forced to ask Aliyev for gasoline. Well, the gas station country is steadily losing that status.
More than 60% of Russia's regions are experiencing a gasoline shortage. In 3 regions, gasoline is being distributed with limits accordingly. In some places it's 30 liters per person, in others it's 20 liters, particularly in Crimea. In many regions, ration cards have also been introduced directly, with direct losses of about $100 billion.
We also targeted defense industry enterprises. The plant was subjected to sanctions. Sverdlov is almost 800 kilometers from Ukraine in Dzerzhinsk, Nizhny Novgorod region. The Russians have this one in a single copy.
This is the only enterprise that produces optogen and hexogen, which is the substance without which further production of explosives is impossible.
In just 1 year, from October 2024 to October 2025, the SSO carried out at least 86 strikes on Russian military-industrial complex facilities. and further reinforced by Flamingos, Neptunes or Palyanitsias, long-range drones, both aerial and maritime, will strike even more until the aggressor Ukraine is drained of the strength and money to continue this war of conquest. Oksana Radionova, Volodymyr Parakonsky and Oleh Harashchenko. TSN Week 1 Plus Marathon, United News.